everyone, my name is Demetri. I'm from the Thonic team, and this video I'm putting together right now is a review of the first 36 hours after our launch. I want to release this yesterday, but I spent a lot of time going through all the blockchain logs and ledgers to just make sense of everything that happened so I can report it more accurately. So let me just get to it. Actually, before I get to analyzing our token, I think what I want to do is maybe share another token that I'm not going to say the name of it. That's not fair, but it's an atypical token that launched on a pre-sale, and it's more or less the same chart pattern that I've seen time and time again. So let me just pull it up here, right? So I purposely hid everything so you can't see what type of chart it is, but this is an atypical chart that you'd see from a pre-sale. So let's just start to look at this now for a second, right? This pre-sale essentially did a very typical way of finding investors. A lot of shilling, a lot of Telegram groups, a lot of hype, and unfortunately, I'm not saying this is this could be a legitimate project. I'm not saying it's not. There's no indication that it's not a legitimate project, and the team is not planning to fulfill it. But looking at all their social media, looking at all their stuff, they really push the pump and dump mentality, and you could see it right in this chart pattern. And this is a pump and dump chart pattern, right? Not to call this a pump and dump, but it is a pattern that is clear of what was happening. And, this is obviously, everyone looks at this as the concerning thing. This is essentially what they call the dump, where everyone just bails. So to me, that's not actually the concerning thing. The concerning thing for me is here, right? So essentially, this project, by the way, did very well in the pre-sale. They raised tons of money with the way they marketed it, and they got tons of funding up front. And they could probably now fulfill their project. No one's saying they can't. I think with the amount of money they raised, they could definitely do what they're trying to do or build. This is the problem, though. When you have this type of initial funding, where it's being funded by mostly people in the pump and dump mentality, those people are what they call in the finance industry as scalpers. They jump in and jump out. They don't really care about the project. They don't care about the team. They don't care about anything. They just essentially, all they want to do is just double their money and get out. Essentially what ends up happening is you're building a foundation with toothpicks. And I'm not trying to be blunt here, but essentially the best way to describe it. All these people that came in for a purpose to double money and get out. And you could tell that by the way this project pushed the sales of the pre-sale. So the thing that concerns me, though, to get back to that, is what if a serious investor came in with real dollars, really believed in the project, and he came in here and he bought here? It's the perfect opportunity to buy. They came into a new project. It's only, I think the 36-hour mark, by the way, is right here. This is the 36-hour mark. But, an investor that really likes what they're doing, thinks it's a great idea, comes in and buys around this area. And then everyone else that, then the dump happens. Where does that leave that investor now? Right? I understand it's an investment. There's a risk involved. I'm not talking about where's his investment stand. I'm talking about where's his confidence in the team and the project stand. That's what I want to know. Because from my perspective, if that was me, I would have zero confidence in the team and zero confidence in the project at this point. Because essentially they built their entire foundation on a lie, right? All this money that they brought in was not, it was essentially money to get them started, but not money for their investors, right? Not money to help their investors out. So essentially what these people are now, they're all down here and they're stuck. They either sell and just take a massive loss and then they never care about this project again, or they sit here waiting that one day that comes back up. But I'll tell you the one thing that the investor that came in here is not doing. is he has zero confidence about the project, zero confidence about the team, and they're definitely not telling anyone about this project and telling them how great it is, right? Because anyone that comes to look at it now is going to see this and be like, that doesn't look right. So when we started Thonic months ago and we started building the idea and everything around it and really laying out the foundation for it all, the one thing we set out to do is to not go after investors in the same way that other altcoins do. This is something we never wanted to do. And the way we did it is we actually held in-person seminars, Zoom seminars, teaching people that are not in the altcoin world about altcoins, how they can invest, teaching non-technical people on how to set up wallets, how to do this, and showing them the benefits of what Thonic will do for them in the future when it comes to modern day investing. This did a few things for us. It gave us big buyers with big dollars and holders, essentially. And this is the foundation that we wanted to build on. So now going to our launch, which is right here, as you can see, I want to go through a little bit for, the first 36 hours of what happened. But the one thing to notice right away is that if you draw a line from here to here, you have a nice steady increase. This is important. People are coming into our Telegram and other social channels and saying, oh, I guess this project's dead. No, it's not. In fact, this is the best ideal situation that we wanted. We were fighting for this. This is what we spent all our time doing, is for this. If we had this, then you automatically get that, right? Sorry, my camera's a little off. So this and then that. You don't want that, because all the people that you built up going that way have zero confidence in you afterwards. What we want is a steady growth, right? So as you can see here, just typical early growth, very low transactions, all decent sized numbers, but just, small progression. And then we had this kind of build up the first night. So this is right here is from the first night. I was up late that night and I noticed this, and this actually made me nervous. Some people probably got excited, but in reality, this is a nerve-wracking thing for me when I see this, because like I said, when you see that, you usually see the opposite, right? And you essentially don't want that. And essentially it happened. But, in reality, if you actually look at the numbers, this is actually a small amount that was bought and sold. It just all happened at once and all happened at once. So it wasn't as sharp a drop as you would think. The amount of money there is actually relatively small. The interesting was the time of it. I woke up around this time. Some parts of the world I noticed were waking up around this time, and it kind of made me laugh because it's like some people woke up in the morning and were like, oh, Thonic didn't make me a millionaire from my $100 investment, so I'm going to sell. And that's essentially what happened. So we expected this would happen. We talked about it in a previous video. We said that, we got a large chunk of investors that we knew, and we pursued room to be strong, smart investors in altcoins that invested in us, and they essentially held. These were the percentage that came organically. Now, mind you, we can't say for sure. Maybe these are some of the investors that we brought in as well. But I noticed in these transactions here, there was a lot of small amounts, very, very little. Anything under $20 is usually a bot, not always, but usually. And then all the rest of the amounts were, ranged between, I don't know, probably $20 to $50, right? So a lot of scalper type purchases and opportunists all just getting out because they don't see this thing 10xing overnight, and it's clearly not a pump and dump. I think there was one big purchase in there that was sold. I believe there was one in there that was a decent size, maybe like 2 BNBs. I can't recall. But it did recover right away. In our previous video, I told everyone to look out for this and to take the opportunity to buy the dip, and people did. I think I woke up when it was already starting to climb back up. And then there's some nice growth here, nice organic, and then there's kind of a drop here, someone taking some profits. Again, I can't blame anyone for selling their tokens. That's fine. That's up to them. This is their investment. They get to do whatever they want with it. I'm just trying to, categorize people and how they're investing, and it may not be accurate, and might I think that's okay that it's not 100% accurate. It's just kind of a generalization. And a few of these lulls, or well, so a few of these drops that recovered, like I said in the previous video, I put some BNB aside to just help the bot pressure. So I was watching for like a lot of bot sales, and then I try to recover it. Funny enough, I thought I would have to use a lot more. I'm still under the 2 BNB mark of how many I actually used or purchased to help offset the sell pressure of bots. I thought there would be a lot more, but so far it wasn't so bad. This was, I think, one big seller, and then I think this one was a lot of bots in this spot right here, and I think these were bots as well. So there were some purchases for me even down here when I saw some bots selling, but essentially the way I did that is I just kind of looked at the transactions. Whenever I saw 2 or 3 small transactions, I just added them up and made the same similar purchase. So if I saw 2 $10 ones sold, I'll just buy $20 worth. Not brain surgery way of doing it, and I didn't have my own bot to counteract it. It was more of a manual process just to alleviate some of the sell pressure at the beginning, knowing that we wouldn't have a lot of transactions. I knew that, since the way we were marketing this, we weren't going to get 1,000 $10 purchases to help skyrocket this thing. We didn't market that way. We didn't market to those groups. We didn't push it that way. So I essentially was using that method to offset the bots. Clearly, I don't have enough money to offset real purchasers that are selling and taking some profits. But with that, we had a lot of big purchases, and just from here and reclimbing here. In fact, I love this little thing of this lull. This is exactly what you want to see in a project. Purchases over time. Essentially, when you see a chart doing this, that is essentially panic buy and panic sell, and you don't want that in any project. That doesn't really build you a good foundation. When you see something like this, though, this nice lull, essentially what's happening is there's purchases happening over time, right? And that's essentially what you want. So not the most detailed analysis of this. I won't take up much more of your time, but I'm going to say that this was a successful launch. The first 36 hours have been great. I think this project still has a solid foundation, and we are still getting big buys coming in. So that's essentially the analysis I'll do for the first 36 hours. I'm still very excited about this. This is great. I can't wait to see what happens in the next week or two, and I'd love to do another one of these then. I will leave you with this, though. A lot of people are asking how the marketing is going, how the spreading. So Dave's doing a fantastic job. He'll release a video soon, talking about that. But I think most importantly, the big question people are asking is how we're finding these investors that are big investors. And you can see them. Some of them are very big. So like I mentioned before, we've done in-person seminars. We've done, online seminars. We've reached out to people. I've done personal calls with people that are looking to invest, a lot of word of mouth going on. And just to give you a rundown of how I would do a personal call, I try not to tell anyone BS about the project. I try to be as blunt and as clear and give them the facts and let them decide to invest. So for example, a lot of these conversations I have, they usually only last about 10 minutes where I first introduce the project. I talk about Thonic and how it is. This is not the seminar, by the way. This is just like if someone's calling, word of mouth, someone's calling me up to ask me about it. I'll just spend, a short amount of time on Zoom talking about it, letting them know about the project, leaving them with a white paper to take. And then I'll just follow up with an email a couple of days later, seeing where they're at. And depending on, how they feel, I will continue to pursue them to see if they want to invest. But at the end of the day, it's I noticed with this approach, people are more, they see how passionate you are with the project. So it allows them to be passionate about the project. And people that are more passionate about a project, they become more passionate about the team. They care more about it. They're willing to invest more money, and they're willing to hold it longer. So this approach is currently working, and we're going to continue to do this approach. Yes, there will be not as many transactions flying, but you will still see a solid, steady growth over time. And that's essentially what we want. So If you want to, help the project out, obviously share on social media, share with all those other things. But most importantly, talk to people you know, see if they're interested. And again, don't lie to them. Tell them the truth. Tell them the facts about how altcoins are and how it works, what the risk factors are, and explain to them the project. And if you can't explain the project properly because you don't know the details and ins and outs like the team does, the white paper is a great place to start. And that's where I would recommend you do. Anyways, that's it for me for now. And I hope to talk to you guys soon.